Hey you guys, I hope you're having a great day today. In this video, I'm going to give you something that I think is entertaining, but nonetheless very useful. Because recently, I have had to deal with this, and still have to. So I'm sure that we all know, well, maybe not all, but at least my subscribers do know. You get it, right? Subscribe. Join the squad. Anyways, at least my subscribers do know that most of the time we can't translate words and especially whole sentences from our native languages directly to English because oftentimes it would not make any sense or would sound wrong or just weird. And for sentences, we can't do this mostly because the way that we make sentences is often very different in different languages. For example, the word order might be different. And a sentence will just sound strange if we translate it word for word from one language into another. But there's also a similar kind of situation with individual words, which is mostly a cultural thing. Sometimes the words that we use to name particular things in our native languages can't be used to name the same things in English when we translate them literally. Sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? Yes, it does. So let's dive right into it. The following list is, of course, not all words that might be a problem, but just the ones that I've noticed so far and the ones that I've used incorrectly and which got corrected by native speakers. Also, there's often no way of knowing these details unless native speakers tell you, or you are listening to lots of native speakers and pay very close attention to all of these things. But I also want to ask any Americans watching this video, could you please give me your take on these words? Because I think that some of them might be a regional thing, especially the first four ones, like pop, soda, and Coke. Because I have just talked to the people around me just from one state. In any case, I'm very curious. You will really help me out and other English language learners as well. And you guys, please also let me know if these words sound weird to you and what you call these things in your native languages. Let's start with the word porridge. This one is interesting because I have heard this word being used by English speakers pretty frequently. However, only now, based on lots of conversations with Americans, have I realized that I have heard this word being used by Australians and Brits, but not by Americans. And again, I can't say this about every American, but the ones that I've talked to just could not understand what I meant and what I needed when I asked where I could buy porridge. Here's the thing. With Americans, you apparently need to be more specific. So it's either oatmeal, corn, grits, or kids formula, or cream of wheat, or cornmeal mush, or any of several similar processed grain products. But if you use this umbrella term that is not even common in American English, they will probably not understand what you're talking about. So I needed something like kids formula, but not quite. In Ukrainian, we simply use this one word when we talk about all kinds of porridge. In Ukrainian, we can say kasha, and people will generally understand what you're talking about. They might ask you what kind of porridge you need, of course, but the word itself doesn't sound weird at all. Here in the US, on the other hand, people had no idea what I was talking about. And by the way, I still didn't find the kind of porridge that I needed here, so I guess they just don't have it. Another word that I used wrong was sausage. And I had no idea that I can't call everything that looks like a sausage, by my usual definition, a sausage. So for Americans, this is a sausage. Well, it looks like a sausage, no problems here. However, this is not a sausage. What do you think it's called? This is a hot dog. All my life, I've known that this is a hot dog, which Americans also call a hot dog. So in my head, it causes some dissonance. Let's move on to the next one. Yogurt. So again, in Ukrainian, we would call any of these things yogurt, whether it's original, sweet and flavored, thick, or liquid. You can use other more specific names for these, but if you call any of them yogurt, it wouldn't sound strange. Where here, I called this yogurt and been told that this is not yogurt. This is yogurt, just like this original Greek yogurt. And this is a smoothie because it's liquid and sweet. So as far as I understand, it's yogurt if it has a thick consistency with perhaps relatively small amounts of added ingredients and flavorings. Let's move to the exhibit number 4. Again, in my native language, it's not weird to call any of these a box. They all have their own proper names and types, but if you say a box of eggs, it would not cause another person to become baffled. For Americans, on the other hand, it would sound odd. So they either say a carton of eggs or a dozen eggs, but not a box of eggs. The same goes for when you want to take the leftovers from your meal home from a restaurant. So you don't ask for a box, but rather for a container or a bag. Or, very weird, a doggy bag. And here, this is a bit confusing to me because I have heard some Americans say a box. Like, can we get a box for this? So, does the word box sound weird in this context or not? So, you would think that you know how to talk about at least the things that you know and have been talking about your whole life and you thought were simple and everybody would naturally understand you. But as it turns out, it's just not true in many cases. And I know what you're thinking right now. But Anna, where do I find native speakers to ask something like that or to be corrected when I use some words wrong if I don't live in an English-speaking country? And I'll tell you, because I know exactly where. If you've been following me for quite some time, then you have heard me talk about this app. It was one of the first apps that I used when I started learning English. And you know that I absolutely loved it. I'm talking about Cambly, which is sponsoring this portion of the video. It's an app that provides one-on-one private English video chat classes with native English tutors from the USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and more. And it is the only app in India that provides one-on-one English classes with native English tutors. It is especially useful for those who know how to read and write but struggle to speak English confidently. This app will help you build your English proficiency and confidence through real conversations with friendly tutors. All you need is your device and you can improve your speaking from anywhere in the world. You can choose from various courses like Business English, IELTS, Personality Development, or you can choose to have just casual conversations, as well as you can choose your preferred tutor. And you can ask them different types of questions about culture or about the usage of particular words. You will find Cambly tutors to be very supportive and kind, and they will help you improve your weak areas without any judgment. So you don't need to worry about talking to native speakers and not knowing how to say something or making mistakes. They're there to help you get used to talking to native speakers and to help you improve your English speaking skills. And for my viewers from India, Cambly kindly offers 22% off of any 3-month plan using this discount code. Okay, let's get back to our video, and I have a couple of more examples of words that I've been told that most of non-native speakers get wrong. The first one is using the word costume for this type of clothing. In American English, this is a costume, something that people would wear on stage or on Halloween or at a costume party where people dress up in funny clothes such as those of clowns or comic book superheroes or something like that. This, however, is a uniform. If you're talking to someone wearing a real military uniform and you're referring to it as a costume, they will feel insulted because you are implying that they are wearing something for Halloween and not the serious clothes proper to a serious member of the military. That is, that you are implying that they are just a pretend soldier and not the real one. This is also not a costume. This is a tuxedo or a suit. I honestly don't know the difference between them, but I do know that Americans don't call them a costume. Now, the following are good ones and useful to know. In English, they don't say congratulations for a birthday or an anniversary. So it's just happy birthday or happy anniversary. They use the word congratulations to praise someone for their accomplishments or for something good that they have done, and not normally for something that is just the result of mere passage of time. For example, congratulations on having a baby or getting a new job or buying a house or graduating from high school or college. Again, in Ukrainian, we can use this one word for everything mentioned, including wishing a happy birthday to someone. That's why it is so confusing for Slavic speakers, and perhaps some others. Another one is using the word serial for a TV show. And this one is probably more common among Slavic speakers. In Ukrainian, for instance, we say serial. It's kind of similar sounding, so people just use it instinctively. Strictly speaking, this word can be used and is probably used in professional conversations in the TV industry. But you won't often hear it in casual, real-life conversations, if ever. Americans usually say TV show or TV series, although TV series is also not used that often because it's kind of semi-formal. If you say cereal, Americans would probably immediately think about this. This is also called a cereal, but it's just spelled differently. They're homophones. Calling a cell phone a mobile phone. Americans don't say mobile phone. They most frequently say just cell or cell phone or smartphone or just phone, if the context makes it clear which phone the speaker means. But not mobile phone and not mobile number, and they definitely don't say mobile. And last but not least, using the words to text and to message wrong. So non-native speakers would usually use these words interchangeably to say that they sent someone a message via social media, email, or through their phone. However, for native speakers, there is a difference, and it might cause a little miscommunication between you and an American. If you send a message from phone number to phone number, you can use the verb to text and to text only. If you say, I'll message you, they'll think that you're talking about sending them a message through Facebook or Instagram or other social media. And if you were talking about your social media accounts and you go, I'll text you, they will be confused a bit. It's not like it's gonna cause a major misunderstanding, but it will make them think for a moment in order to figure out what you're actually talking about. And as for sending emails, you should also use the precise word and say, I'll email you, or I'll send you an email. So these are the things that I've encountered so far, but I'm sure that more is to come. So stay tuned for more videos like this one if you're interested in this topic, of course. But if you've made it till the end, I'm sure you are, so stay tuned. As usual, if you like this video, give it a like, please. It'll really help out our channel. And if you're not yet subscribed, but you like our content, please consider subscribing. And also, I highly recommend that you try out Cambly for improving your English speaking skills. And I'll see you in the next one. Whew. Done? Mm-hmm. You okay?
But what is yoga?
Yoga?
Mm-hmm.
Type of exercise?
Like it is for your brain?
It is for your brain in a way, for your mind and your body.
But what about for your arms? And also for your muscles?
For your whole body.
Also for your muscles?
Yes.